I am Master Sergeant Ian Neske from the 354th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron. We invited you here today to share an important announcement regarding the future of Eielson Air Force Base and our mission as outlined by the United States Air Force. It is an exciting time for us, and we are happy to welcome our friends from across the state. At this time, we would like to extend a warm welcome to our official party, Governor Bill Walker and the First Lady, Mrs. Donna Walker. Senator Lisa Murkowski. Senator Dan Sullivan. Alaska State Senator Click Bishop. Fairbanks North Star Borough Mayor Carl Castle. City of Fairbanks Mayor John Eberhardt and his wife Sylvia. Mr. Luke Hopkins, Fairbanks F-35 Tiger Team Chair. Thank you all for the support you have given us through your various elected and appointed positions. We would also like to welcome our guests from across the interior who give us their unwavering support day in and day out. We do not have time to list everyone, and I'm sure we'll miss a few, but we would like to welcome members of the Fairbanks North Star Borough Assembly, Chamber of Commerce, Military Affairs Committee, F-35 Board, and all others who have joined us today, including fellow members of the Iceman team. At this time, I'd like to invite the commander of the 354th Fighter Wing, Colonel Michael Winkler, to make some opening remarks.
Thanks, Ian. Iceman, how are we doing today? Today should be a really exciting day for everybody that's in the crowd, as well as everybody that's living in the interior of Alaska. I have a terrible feeling that we've probably tipped our hand a little bit if anybody's seen the model that's just off to my left. But it gives me great pleasure to announce that the Secretary of the Air Force signed a record of decision this morning that means Eielson will be getting 54 total F-35 aircraft, and that'll happen in the 2020 timeframe. So huge news. I know a lot of you have seen the construction schedule. We've obviously got a couple projects that are going on in fiscal year 16. Fiscal year 17 is going to be a really busy summer up here at Eielson, and that's going to be challenging for us. You guys, we all know how busy we get during the Red Flag Alaska season, and with the hefty summer construction schedule that's going to be going along with that, it's going to be a pretty busy time down here, but a pretty exciting time as well. We had a great opportunity up at the Chamber of Commerce lunch today to celebrate with the local community. And folks, you've heard it from me before, there is no more local supportive community than what we get to enjoy every single day up here in the interior of Alaska. For the members of the community that are here today, just let me publicly say thanks to you guys for what you do to make our lives easier up here. Folks, can we give them a round of applause? But with all that construction that's going on, we also hope that we get a couple of quality of life initiatives that are going to be coming down to Eielson. I'll tell you, in all honesty, I talked about our Sunrise Bagel and how successful that's been up at the Chamber lunch. And in a follow-up after that lunch, I had a sit-down meeting with Bernie Carl, and he's very interested in bringing a brewery down here to Eielson and trying to make that brewery stood up by the 1st of June. Anybody be excited about that? So I'm looking forward to that. So it's great to see everybody out. This is a huge, exciting day for the entire local area, active duty, Air National Guard, civilian, whatever capacity you're in. It's a great day for the interior of Alaska. It's a great day for the Air Force, and it's a great day for our nation. Thank you guys for what you do each and every day, and it's going to be some really exciting times for us to come. There's a couple other people that are going to make some announcements, so I'm going to get off stage right now. But for anybody that's interested, I will come back up at the end of this the meeting here and answer any questions that anybody's got about anything at all. I'm glad to see the local community get rewarded for the fantastic support and partnership that we've built, and I really look forward to bringing the world's most advanced tactical fighter online to Eielson Air Force Base in the 2020 timeframe. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. I'd now like to invite Governor Walker up to speak.
Wow, what a day. First, I want to say thank you to each of you in uniform, the men and women in uniform that are doing our work for us. They're making our state and our country safer. Thank you very much for what you do. Thank you. You know, I have a saying that every day I love being governor, and I really love being governor today. There are some days I kind of get home late and wrangling over budgets and things like that you have to do. But boy, what a day this is. This is a day that we're trying to think on the drive over a comparable day in Alaska. Because while this is sort of interior centric, it's not. Nothing happens in Fairbanks that doesn't help and benefit the entire state of Alaska. So Alaska joins in around the state and thanks Interior Alaska and the military for what's been done. There were a lot of thank yous today on different individuals, and very appropriately so. Certainly Senator Stevens, the late Senator Ted Stevens is one. General Gamble, Pat Gamble, certainly is one. You know, there's a number of people but really I want to thank is the United States Air Force. The United States Air Force making the decision that this is where this facility is to be located. We will be, as you will hear from our good senators, what this means as far as Alaska being the collective force of military presence in the United States. My father was in the Alaskan Scouts in World War II in the Aleutians. I grew up, my mother came to Alaska working on the Alcan Highway. She worked at Fort Wainwright in the building of the Alcan Highway. Military has been the Richardson Highway was built after General Richardson. I mean, there's so much of Alaska's infrastructure and history because of the military. And one of my favorite parts about the military, beyond the sheer protection and sacrifice you provide for all of us, is so many of you come back or you'll stay here. We love that. We absolutely love that. We love you get a moose, you catch a salmon, you know, pulling a halibut out of Valdez. We got you. So I hope that we hope that we have the highest percentage of retired military return to a state in Alaska, and so that's exciting as well. So there's so many ways, so many dimensions the way the military we benefit as a result of what you do. We just couldn't thank you enough. This is a great day for Alaska. It's a great day for the military. It's a great day for the United States of America because our presence and location is absolutely key. And we're so appreciative that has been recognized in the last, actually with the JBER discussions as far as what's going to happen on the 425, as well as what just happened. We are just beyond excited about what this means to us. Thank you again very much for what you do for our country and for our state. May God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Governor Walker. Senator Murkowski, would you please come up to share a few words?
Thank you. Good afternoon. And you can really put an emphasis on the good with this afternoon. The news that we are gathered to share, the announcement that 54 of these aircraft are going to be here in the golden heart of Alaska. It is truly worthy of celebration. But celebrations don't come about by accident. They come about because of a lot of hard work, a little bit of strategy, a lot of advocacy, and really even more to that, passion. You can do your job if you've got that passion And it can be hard and it can be difficult. But if you know that you're working for the right reason, you can get up again the next day, even though you didn't have very good news the day before, and stick with it. And that's what we have seen reflected here at Eielson, throughout the community here in Fairbanks, in North Pole, in Salcha. We have seen heart for the right reason. Because we care for our military, because we love our country, because we want to ensure that from a security perspective, we've really got all of our bases covered. And that's what we're going to be able to do with positioning these 2 squadrons of F-35s here in Eielson. Now, I have kind of an interesting set of hats that I wear back in the United States Senate. People talk about the fact that I'm chairman of an energy committee and what that means to Alaska. It's a significant issue. It's a big deal for us as a producing state. But I also wear a hat as an appropriator and serving on the Defense Appropriations Committee and on the Military Construction Committee. And I'm proud of these assignments and I work hard in my capacity there. But as we are celebrating today, I'm going to be leaving this hangar thinking, okay, I got work ahead of me. Because it's one thing to say, celebrate the good news that it's coming. It's another thing to make sure that we get these F-35s into full production, into that full line. It's another thing to say that we are ready for the bed down of these 54 spectacular aircraft. So making sure that we've got the commitment, not only for an announcement today, but a commitment to make sure that we are ready. Because as I'm looking at this mock-up, and I'm looking at that tail, I can't wait to be around when we are painting the AK on the tail of 54 F-35s. So we're going to make that happen. We are going to make that happen. But the money that we have been working to put into place already, we started with last year's appropriations bills with funding for the F-35 simulator. This is money that the Air Force can now spend. We're in the midst of formulating the FY-17 MILCON. And so what we will see here in Eielson, what we will see in the surrounding area, will be considerable. General Winkler, you mentioned that folks are going to be busy. Hold on. We're going to be moving here in the interior. We're going to be cooking. And it'll be good for the interior. It will be great for the state. And it will be great for the United States of America. God bless you all for the wonderful work that you do, for your service to our nation, to our servicemen and women, and your families. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you, Senator Murkowski. We'd like to invite Senator Sullivan up to speak.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Iceman. Oh, all right. I'm Colonel Winkler. I'm trying to get, in my service we do oorah. So maybe one more. Good afternoon, Iceman. All right. Listen, as you maybe can tell, one of the things I like doing the most in my job as a U.S. Senator is spend time with our troops. Because we draw so much inspiration from all of you. So I mentioned today at the Chamber that this is it's a great day for the interior, for Fairbanks, for North Pole, for Alaska, for the country, but this is also a really important day for the Air Force. It's also a really important day for our airmen in Alaska, a really important day. And one thing is, like I said, I love to get out with our troops. I'm on the Armed Services Committee. When you guys retire from the Air Force, I'm on the Veterans Affairs Committee. I've had the opportunity in my first year in the Senate, get out with the 1st Stryker Brigade down at NTC, to get out with the 425 down at Fort Polk. So Colonel Winkler, you know, if you ever need an observer or an old JTAC to help you at Red Flag, I'd love to get out with the Iceman at one of your exercises. So what does this mean for you? What does this mean for our airmen? First, this announcement, this decision, solidifies what's been going on in terms of the Air Force, in terms of Alaska, that this state, has become one of the most critical hubs of air combat power in the entire United States military. Think about it. F-35s coming our way. F-22s already here. F-16s already here. AWACS, C-17s, C-130s, KC-135s, Gray Eagles, Apache helicopters, all in Alaska. Tremendous training opportunities, tremendous air power for all of you. So yes, we become the hub of America's air combat power. That's likely going to mean more missions for all of you, which I know you like. But you know, Colonel Winkler talked about it. There's also going to be a strong and positive impact on the quality of life here, with more housing, with more businesses, and yes, let's admit it, I love his idea, more breweries on base. So, there's a lot that's going to be important with this decision, but we want to make sure that you know, as the airmen who are protecting our nation's security, that there's a lot that's going to impact your life here in Alaska in a positive way. And I want to thank you for all the hard work, all the sacrifice that you and your families have been doing for years in our state and across the globe. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Sullivan. Now we have Congressman Don Young phoning in to share a few words.
Okay, go ahead, you're on. Am I on?
Yes, sir.
I can only echo the words of the delegation and the governor. And I just want to thank the city of Fairbanks and city of North Pole. This is a joint effort, teamwork together for the good of the nation, the good of the state of Alaska. And there is more work to do, but this is the first step across the border to get it accomplished with the F-35, and I'm extremely pleased. I know the senators have both talked about building the military, and it's something I've believed in all this time, and we do have it. Now as we go forth, and just pray that we don't have to use them, but if we have to, they'll be on call and be prepared and well trained because of the space of Alaska. So I'm excited for this day, for the state and for the nation. I'm excited for two cities. This is good news for everyone, and I want to thank the delegation again for their efforts, and just keep it up. And good luck to all of you, and especially, as I mentioned, the people directly involved. I just think this is a big trope. So God bless America, and God bless the state of Alaska, and God bless everybody in the room.
Thank you, Congressman Young. We would like to invite Alaska State Senator Click Bishop up to the podium to say a few words.
Good afternoon. It's a privilege to be here. It's a privilege to serve all of you from District C. I want to bring this back down to a little bit of a local level. We have an outstanding delegation that represents Alaska. in the U.S. Senate and the U.S. Congress, and an outstanding governor. And we have some of the best mayors on the planet, and the proof is in the pudding right here with today's announcement and the work that they've done with the Tiger team. But as I had a little brief conversation with Colonel Winkler, my management style is the bottom up. It's the people behind me that got me where I'm at today. And there's some more people on the Tiger team that's not here today that I want to recognize briefly, just not by name, but just all the staff members, my staff, the other senators' staff at a local level that made those Tiger team meetings every day, that gave me the briefings on what the outcomes were. And guess what? Today's just the start. We've got a lot of work ahead of us for a prosperous and a bright future for Alaska. And thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Senator Bishop. We'd now like to invite Fairbanks North Star Borough Mayor Carl Castle up to speak.
Thank you. What a great day this is. This is a shining example of what happens when a community works together. We don't do that often enough, but in this case we have, and the fruits of the labor from the Tiger team, etc., we heard today. And I'm just thrilled to be part of it. I'm kind of the new kid on the block. I was just elected a few months ago, so I can't really take a lot of credit for this. It was the Tiger team that was put in place and has been at this for years working together. The Tiger team is huge. A lot of unsung heroes on that particular team. We weekly meet on Fridays, and every elected office that has any jurisdiction at Eielson is part of those meetings. From local in Fairbanks to statewide in Juneau and all the way to Washington, D.C. Our Tiger team is not only the elected officials, it's the community. It's represented by the Chamber of Commerce and individuals with expertise affiliated with the military. And it's a great team to work with. I want to just highlight that a couple of the stronger unsung heroes would be Nadine Winters, who has really leaned into this project for the Tiger team, and Jim Dotson, who's with us today. I don't think Nadine's out here, but special thanks to those. And an extra special thanks to my predecessor, ex-Mayor Luke Hopkins, who will be up here in just a minute. He's led this charge for 6 years before I got here, and an excellent job he did. Not once did he waver in his mission to get this accomplished. A little self-serving in saying this because this increase to our community is going to really get our economy rolling. And as that happens, things like home values are going to start to go up. And that means my phone's going to ring with people complaining that they got to pay more taxes now with higher assessed values. And I'm going to say it's his fault. I didn't do it. It's all his fault, okay? So anyway, it is his fault and all the rest of the folks that work together on this project. Let's do more of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Castle. We'd now like to invite City of Fairbanks Mayor John Eberhardt to share a few words.
Colonel Winkler and Icemen, good afternoon. Sylvia and I are really pleased to be here, and Sylvia actually used to be in the Australian Army Reserve's Medical Corps at one time, so she particularly loves military-related events, and of course Australia is one of the F-35 partners. This shows what, by working together, as you've heard, we can accomplish. Think back 10 years. We were worried about losing Eielson. We've not only turned that around, kept the F-16s, now the F-35s are coming, the expansion at Greeley, what's happening at Clear, the Apaches at Fort Wainwright, the Gray Eagles at Fort Wainwright. It's a terrific day for our community. We call our community the Golden Heart City, and we hope that you see that Golden Heart extended to you, and our thanks and our respect for everything you do. So I went with Mayor Hopkins down to the Lockheed Martin factory, I think it was last year. And it just shows part of the effort we tried to put in also to do our bit to make sure this dream would come true. And I've never flown anything, and what was really intimidating is I had Colonel Winkler and others stand behind me, and they said, well, why don't you get in the simulator first, which I did. But I didn't crash, so I guess that was good. But anyway, I was talking to one of the refueling people in the Guard here, and based on my conversation with him, I think after these F-35s, we need some new tankers, so let's work on that next. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for your service. God bless you all. Stay safe. God bless the United States of America.
Thank you, Mayor Eberhart. Unfortunately, North Pole Mayor Bryce Ward is unable to attend today's ceremony. However, he has sent a statement he would like to read on his behalf. The announcement finalizing the new F-35 wing at Eielson Air Force Base is strongly supported by the City of North Pole and marks the beginning of a very promising future for the interior. The City of North Pole would like to thank the North Pole and Fairbanks community for their continued support for the individuals and families who have served our great country at Eielson Air Force Base, and look forward to inviting more service members and their families into the community. Bryce J. Ward, Mayor. Next up, we would like to invite Mr. Luke Hopkins, Fairbanks F-35 Tiger Team Chair, to the stage to say a few words.
Well, everybody said how good a day it is. You know what? They're all true. This is great. Airmen, thank you very much for being here at Eielson Air Force Base. I should have brought my red t-shirt in that says, America needs Eielson, you know it. And this is the best thing that could have happened this week for sure. Next week we'll see what's next. But I'll tell you, I was down at the Lockheed factory, as you just heard, and stood with Colonel Winkler and I, and just a short digression here, I like what Senator Murkowski said, General Winkler, so we'll say that again. But that model doesn't do us justice. If we stood next to that, that's not right. We stood next to an F-35, and it was incredible down there to see these things being built. It didn't have AK on the wing yet, but I think we just got that, I know we just got that decision. It was signed finally, because it's what we do here. We work together. We share this experience of hearing that back in 2005, Eielson should go cold or warm in a cold place. That's how the right wording was put, and that was crazy. F-16 should be moved out. No. We got involved about why they should stay here, and we got that done. It was put on the shelf for a while, but they're here. I actually know they're here because I got to fly in one, and I'm glad I'm not going to be flying in one of those because there's only a one-seater. So, Colonel, thank you for that opportunity. I don't want to go in one of those. It's a little too much. But I want to say, as we've heard here time and time again, all of the interior, state of Alaska, we all work together to get something accomplished. The air refueling wing is now the 168th wing. Now we have the decision F-35s here. There's more things that we're going to be working on. We haven't given up because that's not what we do. So watch for us to keep working on whether it's the new tanker, whether it's an associate stand-up that we need here. We're not done, so don't leave. And I thank you all for everything that you've done and the work that the Tiger team has done, and all in our community. We're going to be growing, and that's not a pain. Thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you, Mr. Hopkins. At this time, I'd like to invite Colonel Winkler back up to the stage to make some closing remarks.
What a great day for Eielson. Folks, I don't know when the last time any base has hosted a ceremony where you get the governor, 2 senators, a congressman phoning in, some state representatives, and the entire mayor crowd from all the way to the borough level down to the local, the city level. I think that's indicative of the awesome support we get from our local community and just really how big of a deal this is for the state of Alaska. So for the head party that came out to be with us, thanks again for being here. How about a round of applause? And I guess before I make my closing comments, they got a couple cameras out there. I'm just curious, does anybody in the crowd have any questions? Anything that anybody wants to ask? I mean, we very briefly covered 54 aircraft showing up in the 2020 timeframe. Any additional questions anybody has? Nobody ever takes me up on that. Okay. I know we're going to try to get some of the cameras set up here for interviews for anyone that would like to make another speaking engagement, probably in front of the F-35 with the F-16 in the background. It should be pretty cool, but we'll get going with that. As soon as I close up here. Folks, this is an awesome ceremony. If you look around, the Thunderdome I don't think has ever looked as nice as it has. These two F-16s that are sitting back behind me, they were built in the 1986 timeframe. I don't know how many cars were built in 1986 that are still driving on the roads, but I can tell you there's not a single one that looks as good or is as well maintained as these jets. And that's the work that our Iceman maintainers are doing every single day. And our hats off to them. But this place looks good. We've got some cake afterwards in the reception area. There's a little bit of leftover champagne and maybe some meat and crackers. I'd invite everybody back over into that. These ceremonies don't put themselves together. So I tell you what, if you had a hand in putting this together, whether you were a volunteer, whether you're an ROTC cadet, or whether you're in charge of the public affairs or the planning committee, I'd like you to go ahead and stand up, please. And I should have done this before. We're obviously very thankful to the local community for making this day a reality, but I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize our F-35 shop right here. So Krochka, could you and your team stand up? These are the folks that are going to be doing all the hard work between now and 2020 to make it a reality. So thanks again to everybody for showing up. What an awesome day for the local community, and it's just a great chance for us to be together and celebrate together. There is some cake off to the side, and look forward to celebrating with you guys in the hangar for the next hour or so. Thanks again.